Hello everybody, and how are you all? Welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie, and here we are looking at combination tarot for you tonight. Just posted the link if anybody wants to be a guest and come on and share some of your wonderful experiences learning tarot, or maybe you are much further down the path, just learning. You may be a professional and you've got some wonderful gems of insight to share with people that also want to learn. It's all about sharing. So hope you're having a wonderful week. It's melting hot where I am, and I do hope that the weather is keeping you comfortable and it's been kind to you. So we are going to be looking at the cups again, and so the cups that we've got for you tonight are the Five of Cups. So we are going to be keeping that card, and we're going to be changing that minor arcana card every time to be able to give you some insight as to how to read that Five of Cups. So keep changing the major card for you to help you with that. I've put up some key words there that we're going to stick with when it comes to simple key points, keeping it really, really simple about what that Five of Cups actually does mean. I'm just going to remind you of the link. Let's play that for you, and then we can get started while we have a few more people join us. So there's the link, and you should also be able to see it in the live chat. So if you want to join us, do say hello. So I've pulled up one of the most difficult cards that people are always asking me. I don't know what to say about the Hierophant. Don't know what I have to say. Hey Carla, how are you? Good to see you. Let's move that down there. I need to change that a little bit now. There we are. Let's move it. Oh, I will get there in a minute, Carla. Thank you. Okay, maybe that won't come on where I want it to now. I have to think about the fact that I've now got some keywords on there and make room for your comments. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so the Hierophant. Well, the Hierophant's really just establishments where we have to have rules. And sometimes, you know, those rules don't go in our favour. So let's say that this comes up in a reading and it's like, okay, looks as if some official matters have caused you some sense of loss, because the Five of Cups is telling us we feel we've lost out and we're not happy about that. And we are having trouble going through the channels that be, the rules and regulations of the Hierophant. So this could be maybe getting some important documents, maybe a visa, maybe a passport, maybe some sort of license, maybe some sort of residency, or maybe it's an official document of education, or we haven't quite got there, and we feel very, very let down and very, very much at a loss as to what we got back from the powers that be and the rules that be. So that's really what this pair would actually mean. All right. I'm going to put another one up there. So let's get rid of the Hierophant for a moment. The Emperor. Okay, so when it comes to the Emperor, what have we got here? Well, let's use a keyword, nice simple one, ambition. And let's say that the Five of Cups comes up with the Emperor. We would know that that person felt some sort of loss in their ambitions. Maybe this was something that they were not able to grasp or get, didn't happen for them. You know, it might be that they always wanted to actually have a business, or, you know, I say that because the Emperor is connected with businesses and being your own boss. So maybe the ambitions of being your own boss are actually really disappointing right now, you know, and maybe you went on to take some sort of responsibility in a different place. And of course, the Emperor would represent the father. So we're not saying it's that, but it could be, couldn't it? Can you see how? Because the Emperor is the daddy of the tarot deck. And so if we look at that, we could say, maybe, you were so busy taking care of the family and being in control of that responsibility and being the daddy of the family, whether you've got children or not. Maybe you're actually looking after your family in some way. May not be children, might be members of the family that need your help, and your ambitions went out the window. People say, what if I'm actually a female? Well, we've got female entrepreneurs, and we also have logical females that can take on that logical role of, rather than being mother, they play father, and they take care of, the things that somebody would do that's in a logical way in the family. So some ambitions have been lost. May not be that at all. May come up in something else where they actually feel that the Emperor, of course, is also attached to Aries. So maybe they've lost an Aries person in their life, but that would depend upon the cards in the spread, and you would need to actually look at the other surrounding cards to know that. The Emperor, of course, does relate to Aries, okay? And so it's about not having your ambitions realized, okay? So that's what this pair would mean. If anybody wants to ask questions, feel free, or request a certain card. Hello, good day to you. How are you, Anne? How are you doing? Good day, good day. You're always brilliant to ask, as in if there's something that you'd like me to have a look at for you. So I've had the Emperor on there. 5 of Cups, always something where people go, oh gosh, somebody's died. Not necessarily at all. It can be, it feels as if something in their life has died. So let's bring on the old Magician. Okay, the Magician, great card. Okay, and you go, I've got the 5 of Cups, as people do. So let me just see. That's the one I'm looking for, manifestation. Okay, so we could change that and say another meaning for the 5 of Cups. We're finding it hard to move on. So it could be loss, okay? Or it could be that what they've manifested, they're finding it incredibly hard to move on. And you go, that doesn't make sense. Hang on a minute. Magician has all the 4 elements on the table. That means they have the capacity and the power within them to do anything they put their mind to. That's what the Magician card is about. It's a genius card linked to Mercury, and yes, being able to do what you need to do, be in a position of saying that, you know what, this is what I wanted, this is how I wanted it to be, and I was manifesting it, and then there was a loss, and I'm really finding it very difficult to move on. And it's an emotional kind, but don't convince yourself that the emotional loss is connected with someone else. We always think emotions, someone else, love. What about the emotions of themselves? Okay, brilliant. Okay, honestly, are you feeling better? Good, hope you are. Okay, someone asking for a reading. Sorry, we're not doing readings. We are talking how to read cards. So, sorry, my dear, you have misunderstood that we are doing a training session on how to read these cards, not actually cards. Understandable, of course. Sorry about that, Himana, asking there. So, if we want to manifest something and we feel that in actual fact we lose it, it's because we've lost out emotionally. It hasn't fulfilled our emotions. And that's probably to do with ourselves rather than a relationship. But if it was a relationship question, and this came up in the position of the person that they are asking about, so it depends where it is in the spread. So always be careful that you're really trying. It's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah? It is interesting. So we've got to go, who is this? The position will tell you. Position will tell you who this is. So if we get this in the position of the querent, the self, the person that's asking about themselves, is whatever they have tried to manifest. They've lost out. There's been disappointments. They preferred it back then, because the Three of Cups is representing when it was good. Here goes this light again, so I'm not going to sit there and play with that. Brand new light, and it does that to me. So I'm going to have to try and make do. Sorry. So yeah, manifestation. So we've got something, we've made it happen, and then we have lost it. And as a result of that, we could also say that, yes, we're grieving that loss. So we're grieving the fact that it was there, now it's gone. We've lost it, so now I want to grieve. We're grieving emotionally, and we're grieving for ourselves because it's in the self. But what I made happen has now all spilt milk. It's all gone wrong. It's all not happening. And so then in comes the other meaning, and there's loads, but I wanted to keep it really simple for you, that we are finding it hard to move on from that. And we prefer to dwell on what might have been that we manifested and how we'd lost it. So when we are grieving, perhaps we need to focus on the fact that it's the emotion that we are grieving for, but a person, our figure, is grieving for the joy of how that felt in that manifestation. But all is not lost. Although they're finding it hard to move on, we've been offered 2 cups here. He's not ready to look at it. We discussed that the other night. But when he is, it's already here. It's not coming. It's not something, oh, it'll come when you're ready. No, you're actually being offered that directly now, because it wouldn't be in the actual tarot card presenting 2 upright cups, a connection, another emotional connection to manifest. Okay? Okay. Of course it is. You can always book a personal reading with me. I do readings. Thank you for asking. I never really talk about that. If you go on the website, you are more than welcome to actually call Anne-Marie. There is, on the website, you will see the top. It says call Anne-Marie or have a reading. And all you do is you just go simply onto that, click on that button, straight away, choose the amount of time you actually want to have with me, pay for your reading, and then WhatsApp me and we arrange a time, usually on that day. There are certain hours that I work, and that's all on the website for you. So between 8 and 2 p.m, 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. UK time, mostly 7 days a week, but not always. I do have to go out sometimes. And then there's emergency readings, and emergency readings mean it's way outside of my time. And if I do choose to actually say yes to you, then okay, we're good to go ahead, but you pay for the privilege of that. Okay, so up to you. All right, because it's always the wrong time of day in the world. But thanks ever so much for asking. Yes, you can always get a reading with me. Yes, indeed. So thank you so much for that. Lovely of you to ask, Tony. Right, so let's do another combination. Right, I should have got rid of that first, shouldn't I? So let's get rid of that now. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. What would I do without you lot reminding me? Thank you. Okay, so the Strength card. So if the Strength card comes up in a reading with the 5 of Cups, oh, I've made a mistake, haven't I? We were going back. Sorry. I am just going to go back before I bring this one on. It's because I was answering that question. My apologies. Let's go back to the Magician. That's the one that we're on, isn't it? And finding it hard to move on. I said, what about if this came up for another person. So you would be looking in your position, in your spread, that we're looking at someone else. And somebody's asking about love, and this comes up not for the person having the reading, but the person that they are asking about. And it's like, how does that person feel about me? And this comes up in the other person, in the position. You could confidently say to that person, they are finding it very hard to move on, and they are missing out very, very much on what that felt like, okay? Because the Magician is about manifesting. So they're not able to manifest something now, even though they've been offered it, they don't want to. So if they're asking, does that person actually want to get back with me? Well, they're looking at the Three of Cups, they're looking at spilt milk, and they're looking at what you actually created together. And yes, there are other opportunities around, but is that person looking at them? No, they're not. They're not. They're actually consumed with what's happened. So this is where it's like, and what are their intentions is the other question that usually comes up about someone else. With this, there aren't any intentions. They're finding it hard to move on. We've got no cards of action. Action is Wands, which we'll be doing after we finish the Cups. And Pentacles is manifestation and tangible things, which we'll be doing as well. Okay. Hello, Carla. How are you? How are you doing? Yeah? Are you good? So, I did want to actually come back to that. All right. So, let me... It just takes me a little bit longer, but I think it's worth actually doing by putting the keywords on there to help you and me. And it means that we don't go down rabbit holes. I was doing strength, okay. So if we've got strength, then lots of different words we could use for strength, but I picked one, and that was courage. All right. And again, let's say that we are looking... Big smile to you too. Oh, lovely. All about readings tonight. Yes, book it on the website. Go on the website, go for the call button, call Anne-Marie, and you can book a reading with me, and you can choose the time slot that you want. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. And sometimes people just keep adding, oh, I need another half an hour, another hour, whatever it is, because sometimes they've got some very pressing things, and while they manage to actually get hold of me, they'll say, I'm going to go for it and have that time. But if you want to taste it, there are also tiny pockets of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever it is. I can't remember, 20 minutes. I've got it all on there. I think it's 15 actually is the lowest one. So you can always find out, as in, hey, reading's going to go, but people do find they run out of time. Thank you for that. Thank you, Carla. Keen, lovely, love it. Go for it, Carla. Be tomorrow though. So that's when I'll be able to actually deal with your reading. Thank you very much. Very, very, very privileged. Very much appreciate that you're asking. And Tony, thank you. Oh, there's a surprise. So, courage. So having the strength and the courage. Emotional. This person's looking for the emotional and physicals there with the strength card. Lovely Leo card. We are in Leo now. We've moved out of our emotional lot, Cancerians. I sit for another year before I'm affected and actually modelling as a Cancerian when it's in my sign. I always find it very tough. Don't know if anyone else does. Let me know. I always find it very emotional when it's my time of Cancer. I'm a Cancerian girl. But Leo, lovely Leo, having the courage, the emotional courage, but finding it hard to move on. They have got the courage. So the major card is telling us this person has got the strengths, but they're probably wanting to hold themselves back for a while until they're actually satisfied that they have grieved enough for that loss. So they're strong enough, but they have a loss and they need to grieve, and they are finding it hard. It's not impossible. Again, somebody was asking about love. How's my ex-partner going on? They'll get there. Do you think that they'll come back? There's nothing. Look, just because you're saying, oh yes, he's finding it really hard to move on. No. That's the emotions. It's not what they're going to do. We all want, which is what emotions can be. You know, we feel it. And yes, we usually want something and do it. Doesn't mean we will, because we could have that thing that's also part of strength, pride. And also part of strength, Leo's charm, childlike. Childlike, I don't want to. I may find it hard to move on. I will sit here, but I'm proud and I'm not coming back. Don't go backwards, me. A lot of people say that. A lot of people will say to you when you have a reading, look, I don't go backwards. They've had their chance, that's it. It's breaking my heart, but no, I'm not signing up for that. And they've done it now. And it's like, gosh, give them a chance. And it's like, no. If they're not right back now, I'm moving on. I don't want this pain, you know? So sometimes, although people find it hard to move on, it doesn't mean it's black and white, they're coming back. Very hard to answer when they're coming back. You're looking for specific cards, and we will get there when that comes up. Might be next week, by the way. There's a little clue as to what it might be, all right? So, yeah, we're looking for cards of reconciliation. This isn't it. This is, I want to mourn. I want to grieve. I do find it hard to move on. But that strength card is saying I've got the courage and I'm going to make sure I'm strong enough to move on, because I don't want to play this game. I don't want the dramas. See, all coming from strength card. Yeah. Any questions? Any requests? Does anybody want to see a certain card? Yeah. Don't forget, everybody, I'll put some keywords up for you. Better get rid of these. I have a whole bunch of them, as you can imagine. Sorry about looking sideways. I should really put these overlays in front of me, and then you won't see me going off that way and that way with my eyes. It's very distracting. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to help you. All right, let's have a look at some keywords other than the ones I've been giving you. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, we've got the Fool on the screen. Vanessa, sorry, misunderstanding. This is tuition, not readings. We are looking at readings, but we're not giving them. Sorry about that. Okay. All coming up on Facebook asking for readings. Sorry about that, folks. Hate to disappoint. Hate it when people get confused, because I feel that maybe, you know, I wasn't clear enough. Sorry. Okay. What am I looking at? Oh dear. I seem to be getting a whole load of spam coming in from Facebook. Sorry, everybody. If anyone's getting anything about spells and that, ignore it. Can't have a moderator in there because it just doesn't work. Not to worry. Very distracting. All the spells and whatever. What's that got to do with our tuition? Nothing. Okay, so words for the Fool. I'm sure you've got some of your own, but I chose a really nice simple one. Something new. And you go, that's an interesting combination. Something new, and yet there's a loss, Yeah. Let's say it comes up in the position of our person that's having the reading, i.e. the querent. And the querent actually, sorry, I've got an itch. They're seeing someone new. Let's go with the emotions of the Five of Cups, and they feel that they've lost that person, even though it was new, never really got started, and you might say there's somebody new here, but I feel that you've lost that opportunity. But there's more opportunities than just this person. Therefore, you've got to look at that, and therefore you've got to actually be ready for when this new person's there, because they're actually already there for you. There is a connection. Oh, it's a love affair. We don't know. Two of Cups isn't always love. It could be a friend. It could be a connection. It could be a new emotional beginning. We know that. And so this person could be, I would look at this and go, be very careful. You're putting too much into this, as in somebody new, they had a profound effect on you, and you've never forgotten it, and you're dwelling on that. But if you do go into a new relationship, as in that's already there, make sure you're ready, because you could be on the rebound. You really, need to do yourself the service of being ready for a new emotional obligation. It may actually not be a love affair or romance, as I said. Might be you're not ready to commit in a friendship to somebody yet. People can be devastated by the loss of someone new in their life. And so it could even be, the fact is, something new in their life. If this came up as in the position of career, they may have had a new career. All of a sudden, it's gone. I've seen that before, many a time, where somebody's come in and go, I've got a brand new job, and it's this, and it's that, and it's the other, and you see this, and you go, crikey, this isn't it's not sustainable, and they go, how do you think I'm going to get on? Well, you've got to kind of say, haven't you? It's like, actually, you know what, there may be other opportunities coming along that might actually knock you sideways, but when you're ready, oh, do you not think I'll get on that great here? And it's like, well, just be prepared for other things coming along, and make sure that if something new comes up, emotionally, it looks like you'll connect with that. Oh, but I really want this. And it's like, yeah, I can see that. So when you're ready, if it comes up, just be forewarned, forearmed. Yeah? So if we change the word on that one from loss, we could look at the fact that, do you know what, my overlay on this one is a bit further down. So where did I put it? Okay, they could be in a place, couldn't they, where they are not feeling that new person is around them, and maybe they were just meant to come in for a short period of time. That's always the point. Okay, I just want to remind you of this, and then I can go back and find my other word that I want to look for, which is on another scene. So let me just remind you about, don't forget, we've got Tuesdays podcasts, which are always all about what we're doing here, and you can find that they are all in a playlist on there. They're added every week by the time, because what I do is I edit the live version, so you haven't got all the chit chat and various things that you might not have time to watch. You can come on the lives of those, can't you? And you find it on my YouTube channel. All right, so that's absolutely marvelous. So I'm going to go back to this thing, because I know that when I'm in this scene that I can actually bring up the words that I've got ready. It just didn't kind of happen on all of them, sorry. So let's go with finding it hard to move on, and let's go with this one. So number 15, the Devil card. So what's that about? You pleased about that? Somebody's put a thumbs up, yeah? If you're watching on Twitch, hi there, how you doing? Jump over onto the YouTube channel. Please sign up on there, because then I can actually, you can watch the old podcasts. You can't watch anything. I'm sure you can, but I haven't figured out how to do that and put that into a library for people on Twitch. Okay, so I haven't worked it out, and I'm sorry, Twitch sometimes I can't always stream there. It's not always as easy. So if you jump onto YouTube, and then you can watch the podcasts or the replays, and go and search for what you want. You won't find that on Facebook, and you won't find that on Twitch. Okay, so the devil card. Okay, so what have we got when it comes to the devil card? Any words that anybody wants to actually give me, where they are finding, it hard what to say about the devil card. I chose materialism for this one. All right, there's lots of others. I know there is. But let's say we've been very materialistic, and let's say in our status and our career and what we've actually aimed for, I've got this house and I've got this wonderful life, and oh my gosh, something's come in and emotionally just sort of gone. Yeah, I'm really finding it hard to move on. Why? Probably because there was a loss. So there was an emotional loss. We can have emotional investments to projects, to buildings, to properties, to people, of course, which is what we all assume. Don't always assume it's that. Once people have got past that initial finding the right person, and then kind of finding it isn't the honeymoon period forever, amen, they really do focus on their materialism. And this could be somebody that's lost everything. They could have lost their home. They could have actually, lost their status, their business. Devil card is so many things. Remember, devil card is very much about being a puppet master. So that would apply to business. It's also linked to Capricorn, of course. Capricorn, of course, is to do with our status and, who we are, and perhaps in the workplace. Yeah? Yeah. We love the devil popping. Always one. I may have told you this story before. I nearly did not complete my studies as a tarot reader, going in time and time again. Oh, I'll come back to that. You booked it. Yeah, I would say no problem. You're in the UK. Normally I'll WhatsApp that, but have I got any spaces in the morning? Yes, I'll be free from 8 a.m. That spot is not yet booked. I have international calls between 6:30 a.m. UK. So UK time at 8 is free, Carla. All right, you're welcome. If you want to turn around and WhatsApp me that, I'll confirm that with you after I finish on here. Thanks very much, Carla. Thank you. All right, so we love that devil popping up. The story is that when I was training, there was always somebody saying, can you tell me about that devil card again? Every week for 3 to 5 years, this young lady, actually out of 10 of us, said the same thing every week. And every week, the teacher went, yes, dear, and allowed it. And that was fine, but it held us all up. And I got so frustrated because, it was like, here we go. I've got precious 2 hours here. And here we are, half an hour on this. And we were expecting to go on to something else, So it felt so frustrating. I can't tell you. It was just frustration, nothing more. And it wasn't because I didn't want to know. It was just because I wanted to know what was next. Impatience. So yeah, materialism could have been lost. So yeah, we do love the devil card. And I know it's a firm favourite because people do actually have the question that, I can't remember her name now. Gosh, it's 30 years ago. No, it's longer. more like 40. Oy. Yeah, they're grieving. They're grieving for something that they materialized and have lost. And that's difficult, very difficult. And so they're probably finding it hard to move on because their status, their materialistic things, we'll say, oh, love's the most important thing. But what if we have lost our status, our hard work's gone down the drain? What if we're working for someone and someone else has got that promotion? Or we've been made redundant, they've called it something else like they do, your ex, and now this person's called Mr. AB, which means the same as ex, but that means we can get rid of you and bring that one in. That would be awful to feel that that person has taken over. What was your material? You're going to have to now look at the fact that you can't do what you were doing because you don't have the money, because you don't have the status, you don't have the prestige, and you've lost her. You're finding it hard to move on. There's an emotional loss here. Crying over spilt milk is what this card's often called. And that can sound very petty, oh, don't cry over spilt milk. But we do need time to go, I know I am, but I feel like it. And I'm enslaved to the fact that I want what I want, and that's either my status, my house, my car, the prestige. It's absolutely fine. Oh, Carla, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very, very much. Don't quite understand the message I've got from Twitch. I'll try and copy that. I'm copying it, okay? So I can look at that later. Bear with me for a second. Let's bring a little. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. I've copied that and put it on my WhatsApp account. Thanks, Bocolo. If that's how you pronounce it. I think it is, Brocolo98. Thanks for your message. It might be something to help where the videos go. Appreciate it if it is. Thank you. Okay, so finding it hard to move on due to loss. Materialism, there could be all sorts of things going on there. We might be in bondage, enslaved. In which way? Emotionally. Why? Cups. Emotions. Enslaved financially, but they're going, oh, it's all gone, I'm really finding it hard to move on. I've lost my kudos, I've lost my expertise, I've lost my status, I've lost my reputation, I've lost where I am at this point in the journey, and it's my materialism, it's my bread and butter. Of course they're going to grieve. Of course. It's not always something of a physical loss. It can be incredibly hard to identify that it's a person that they've lost. You've got to kind of have, it could be that they are in some way enslaved to that. Okay? Difficult to identify a person because people in tarot can actually come up as the major arcana, can't they? Which is quite hard unless you've actually got their star sign. All right, I had one before I came on tonight, and they were asking about someone, didn't know their star sign, which is incredibly difficult, but I asked a client to describe, and they did, and that's like, I'm going to go with Scorpio with what you said. That's an aspect of them that I'll look for in the reading to identify this person. Second card out, Scorpio. Third card out, Scorpio. Majors and minors. Influences of others, Scorpio. Obstacles in the way, Scorpio. So I think that you can detect it. Might not be their sun sign, might be a huge aspect of that person, such as it could be their moon, couldn't it? Or it could be their rising sign, their ascendant, whatever. But it's nice to be able to identify them astrologically with the major arcana. However, the minor arcana can do that too, and that's what you learn on the courses with me, who's who, where they go, what aspects. It's so much fun. But don't feel overwhelmed, because I wanted to do it like a pick and mix, so you could pick what you wanted, study that, and then move on when you wanted to, and you could go backwards and forwards like snakes and ladders. Don't feel that you've got to do everything in a certain way, apart from part 2. part 1 and part 2 are important that they're done in order. Doesn't matter if you want to look at part 1 and feel then you've got to go back and do major cards. So many people last week that had bought the actual part 1 and part 2 of my courses after last week's video went off and bought the actual wands, the swords, the major arcana, and studied them. It was a whole variety. Really interesting. Really pleased that you did that. I do it all the time, you know. So I did it in a way that, you know, there are no rules. The rules are there's work to be done and you do it when you want, and then you can keep growing if you want, or you can stop and stand where you are if you want and take your time. That's the beauty of this. There is nothing. And those courses are there for as long as I am alive. And I'll try and leave it in my legacy to say to someone, could you keep it running for me if I leave the planet? So there you go, can't make you anymore. And they're not expensive. It's the price of a dinner, you know, a decent dinner. When I say that, I don't mean fancy sort of hotels, really. I just mean quite simply, price of a dinner, you know? Yeah, can be frustrating, indeed, can be. Very, very, very. So, let's choose another one. Let's go for this one. Okay, so it's not materialism, is it? With this one, we have beautiful, beautiful sun, and of course links to Leo, which we are in at the moment. Lovely, beautiful Leo. So we have, quite simply, happiness. Sun. How do we get that? Well, we've got this complete transparency, this purity of the child on the horse, linked to Leo. Sun. It's about our happiness. It's about our vitality. So something in the Five of Cups has affected our personal happiness. It's not like the World card, which is more of our ambitions of happiness, if that makes sense. The Sun card is our vitality, the things that we love, the things that are dear to us. Not, I'm going to be this in my career, or I'm going to be a vessel financially, you know, for charities or whatever. Do you see what I mean? They're world sort of things I would like to be known for, that I managed to conclude in my life. That's the world. The Sun is much more about family, what you want in life, who's going to be your special person, and whether they go on to be your spouse, or whether you go on to have a family, or whether you go on to actually say, I love being independent, I love my friends, and I love my life, and I live it with intention and purpose. But something has happened with the Five of Cups where they're finding it hard to move on, because it has affected their personal happiness due to the fact that they are grieving something about what I just said about the Sun, their personal circumstances. So maybe someone in that pack of what they call unprotected people. And that's not always just family, is it? It can be our group, our friends, our community. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. The Sun is much more personally connected to that vitality of what makes that person happy, what feeds them that source and gives them that joie de vivre to get out of bed every day and go, oh, you know, I'm going to see my family, I'm going to see my loved one, I'm going to see my kids, I'm going to see my group, I'm with the people that I really, really care about, these really important people in my life. So it's more personal connections, and something now has caused them to grieve. There's been something that's upset the apple cart, and they are being offered a new opportunity. Is it about going back? Probably not with this pair. You know, people say, will they come back? What are you looking for if it's coming back? I'll try and get it up on screen for you. And put the loss back there. This is what you're looking for. Okay? because what's it about? Someone from our past. And that's what this card is all about. I can make that a little bit bigger, can't I? Yeah? So that is what you're looking for. So if you're looking for, unless you've got their star signs, which I teach you about in the courses, and let's say they're asking about someone from the past, and let's just make it super great and say, yeah, they're a Virgo. Virgo is connected to the Hermit. So there you go, made it nice and easy. And they're saying, is this person coming back? How are they feeling right now? Well, a Hermit is not telling us coming back, but we can look at that person from the past. So the Hermit's a card of the past. You've got other minor arcana cards, like the Three of Swords, that connects with the past. We would need to see Six of Cups to see that they're coming back. Five of Cups looks as if this might be lost. And the two opportunities there may be a chance, but we'd need to look at more cards. We'd need to see where it is in this position. We'd need to know that. What we would really, really want is court card for that particular zodiac sign, which is what I teach you on the courses, where to look in the position specifically for something that's coming back to you, and where is that position. All right, but for now, if you're looking at an X, yeah, a Hermit's a really good one. Someone from their past, someone that they have had, a Sun card even, but doesn't connect to their past. It's just showing that somebody's special in their groups that they cared about very much. Okay, court cards, difficult. We won't be doing those until I've gone through minor arcana 1 to 10, so it's going to be January before we get to court cards. I just didn't want to make it too complicated by, you know, simplifying it by going through 1 to 10 with each minor arcana is enough for now. We will get there. I promise you we are doing that. I will do that. A lot of people, what I wanted to do here that I feel that, and I would like somebody to maybe write some comments about this, as in, because so many times when I have been researching over the years, and I was on YouTube back in 2008, believe it or not, in a place called MySpace and a place called Facebook that had just started. Yeah, and honestly, I would find things, and I've been looking since then. Even though I do tarot, I've done a lot of research, and research is books, and it's also online since then. Collating things, curating things, making sure that I was getting everything ready because I was teaching. And it's incredibly difficult to actually find something that continued. The saddest thing of all was something was really good, and you go, right, I want to look at the next one they've done because they were promising they were going to continue and do the whole collection. Just wasn't there. Just never got to the end of it. They just did a bit. So hopefully what I'm trying to do here is to give you all 78 cards and do them properly, and not just do a bit of this and a bit of that, and people go, you know, I still don't know about that devil card. Just like, yeah, but the Hermit card, does everybody get that this is someone from the past? It's got history, okay? And how do we know that? Quite simply, if we look at the Hermit and we see his beard and everything about him shows experience, it shows that there's been time, passage of time. Look at it like that. He's old, so, you know, he's been around in the past. Look at it like that. I'm just explaining that right now, okay? Look at him. He's old, all right? A baby is new person, you know, new energy, new life, all right? Experience the past. It's experience because they've lived a long time. So they've got many a story to tell. They are able to know what happened. If we look, he's old and he's on his own. And so he has been around for a while. That's probably the easiest. All right. And just because it is. But yeah, it is that. It's very much, it's to do with his experience of life. And it looks as if he's aged. And I know that some look older than others in the cards. And I don't think, it's intentional at that. There are other cards of the past, the Six of Cups, but we'll talk about that on Thursday. That's a nice one. But yeah, this is about age. I hope that helps. That is a great question. It really is. If I can find more, it might come to me more about what I could say about that. But that lamp, he's lit that lamp and carried that. And so he's walked the boards for a very long time. So therefore, he comes with, it's like matured steak, if you like, it's had time to actually mature. There's a sense of maturity. And so maturity talks about there's a history. And so that history applies to the fact that we've got to have something that relates to the past, rather than just one position in the spread that talks about the past. Does that help? If not, I can try a bit more for you. I love it when people actually ask something like that, where I go, gosh, yeah, not thought about that, as in, apart from, that's how I look at it. It's his wisdom, time, he's been on this planet, he's walked the boards, he's carrying that lamp of wisdom. And so, wisdom, you can't be wise and be a newborn baby because you're helpless. So wisdom, age, experience comes from a past. Yeah? So if this came up as in for somebody that I was thinking, oh gosh, I want somebody to come and I'm interviewing somebody, I'd be looking for the Hermit card because they're experienced, they've got that wisdom, they're aged in a way. When I say age, not particularly how old they are. If it was candidate to actually work for you, you'd be looking for someone that's got a wealth of experience and quite capable and sprightly of doing what it is you want to employ them to do, isn't it? That kind of thing. So you'd be looking for that wisdom, you'd be looking for that expertise, you'd look for that experience, and you can't get that when you are just a bubba. That's kind of what I'd say on that one. Does anybody have any particular requests? When you say, how about the Hierophant? Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you mean. If you can just kind of tell me, I'm happy to answer it. I don't want to assume. I can put the Hierophant back up there for you. I did the Hierophant, I think, at the beginning. Thought that was a bit of my tooth coming out there. It's not. Just a crunchy bit of, use some scouring sort of toothpaste. Bit of that, sorry. Too much information. But yeah, when you say, how about the Hierophant, if you can get back to me on that. While I'm waiting for you to get back to me on that, I'm going to take these down and let's move into this. Okay, so I'll be finishing soon, and on Thursday we will be doing the Six of Cups. Interesting, we just left it with the Hermit, and we'll be talking, it's a card of the past. There's an awful lot of wisdom in that card. But I do want to remind you folks that whatever I do on here, it's not an ounce of what you'd get in major arcana courses that I do. I can only give you so much in an hour. I've given you half-hour tutorials of each card, everything you'd need to know. Yeah. When you said, how about the Hierophant, what do you mean? What's that card about? Think of it as a card of rules. Yeah? Yeah? And is he someone that's old or young? I wouldn't look at it like that. I can't wait to speak to you either. Thank you so much. Lovely. So, Anne, you were saying about the Hierophant. What does the Hierophant mean? I'm pretty sure I did that at the beginning of this. If anyone can confirm that or not, have a look at the replay. I go through so many, and I've got a whole list of. I just choose them at random, and I'm all ready for anything that comes up. But I forget what I've done. Pretty good at that. Okay, so you comment. No, that wasn't the other one. That's the card of the past. The other card of the past is a minor arcana, and that's Three of Swords. Another one, of course, is Six of Cups, which we're doing on Thursday. So, the major arcana, definitely the Hermit for the past. Hierophant, authority, government, rules, red tape. That's what he is. People that put rules. And why have you got that Pope there? Because you've got those rules. The church used to be the ones that many years ago probably had the most rules to dish out to people. People were much more orientated to going to church, weren't they? They feared if they didn't. And I was like, yeah. So, Three of Swords, past. Hermit, past. That's your major arcana one. But Hierophant, no. I would actually say, look at him as red tape. My Hierophant, for me, is a nice, easy one. I always think of him as HR, passports, customs. The person at the airport that goes, you haven't got the right visa. No, you're not having a passport. You're not having that. You're not having that certificate to say that you've studied for how many years. I've got the power to actually say, my rules say here that something wasn't quite right. We banded the examination. Yes, you got a high percentage, but you didn't get it equally banded in each one. Check it again. Yeah. 3 past cards. Hermit, Three of Swords, and Six of Cups. So, no. Hierophant, I would always say red tape fellow. Book of rules and regulations, the powers that be, the red tape, the authorities, the stamping of official, the approval from governments, councils, schools, education, where we have rules, where we have red tape, where we have passport control, that person that we go, oh, what a job's worth, he wouldn't let me pass, he wouldn't let me have that, Hierophant can be a driving examiner, somebody that's got the capacity to actually give you that red tape where you get what you need from that. Yeah. No. Maybe I did say it. I didn't mean it anyway, if I did. Yeah, okay. Who knows? The other day was total nuts. As was today, every time I come on, there's always something that happens about an hour beforehand. Today was a client coming in, which didn't give me much time to get ready. And when I tried to get ready, we had no water. So it's all great fun, isn't it? Yeah? Okay. Oh, you're welcome. I'll see you Thursday, I hope, for the Six of Cups and more cards from the past. And I am trying to work on something that we can discuss, whether we get time for that. I always run out of time to talk about what cards we look for certain things. If we're looking for somebody new, if we're looking for somebody from the past, if we are looking for a person, if we are looking for, certain things. If you think of anything, put it in the messages or comments as in below. And I'll see you next week. And thank you so much for watching, and thanks for those that were on Twitch and the message. I'll have a quick look at that. Sorry to those on Facebook that actually thought we were doing personal readings. Nope. I do personal readings, but yes, you have to pay for those on my website. Thank you to Carla, thank you to Tony for booking. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for your wonderful questions. Really appreciate it. Thank you too. Until next time, I'll see you soon, and take care of yourselves and each other. See you Thursday. Bye.